On to question number 2.
All right. Okay, so Neal, how does permaculture differ from agriculture? And in your opinion, which is better for the land and why?
Yeah, good question. Well, I would say the main difference between agriculture and permaculture is with permaculture there's an implicit attempt to create an ecosystem, not just to produce something. So permaculture, at the end, what we're trying to do with permaculture is consciously design ecosystems that mimic what we would think of as natural ecosystems in terms of their diversity and resilience, while they meet the needs of the people who are designing and interacting with them, right? So that's a huge difference to what you're trying to do with agriculture, which is just produce one thing and really write off any externalities. Yeah. So permaculture is based on a set of principles, one of which is accept feedback, right? Accept feedback all the time in your design process. So, for example, the need to constantly bring in fertility from outside in the form of chemicals, and the need to continually spray chemicals. That would be feedback to a permaculturalist that something isn't working.
Okay.
Right? Externalities that are written off in modern agriculture are things like runoff of chemicals and manures from badly handled animals into waters and streams and lakeways. Those are actually permanent damages to the entire planet that are just completely written off. They're regarded as externalities and not worried about. Permaculture actually actively seeks to do all the opposite of those things. Seeks to design and create systems that build fertility year on year. That instead of causing runoff water and often mining underground water to irrigate, permaculture looks to actually bring up the water table, hold more water on the land. That's the big thing you're trying to do with permaculture. So you're trying to hold it in ponds, mainly actually often you're trying to hold it in vegetation. So that's why there's such an emphasis in permaculture on the use of perennials, things that do not die. We talked about this in another video. Things that don't die, they put down big deep roots, trees and grasses, and they hold soil and fertility on the landscape. Yeah. And if that's done properly, that is not just not just results in more water getting sunk into the landscape and held and recharged aquifers. It also results in millions of tons more carbon getting held in vegetation. Because this is a lot of this stuff. Once you get hold of a lot of these permaculture principles, you start to realize that these apparently very scary problems that we're talking about in the world are complete nonsense. All of the carbon in the atmosphere, that's food for trees and grasses. That's all that is, right? And yet we have governments that continue to subsidize agriculture, like give subsidies to people who are using Monsanto seeds and spraying and doing all the opposite things that we need to do. And then not just only not subsidizing regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture means taking damaged landscapes and turning it back into carbon sequestering, water holding land that also produces food and hopefully makes money, which it should be because it tends to be superior food. If they would start subsidizing these things, we could turn this whole climate change thing, and I shouldn't even really use that term because it alienates people. Just forget, like, loss of soil.
Right.
Call it that. We could turn that all around in like a question of decades, really, really easy, and feed people as we do it. And by the way, people know this. There's plenty of research and evidence showing this. For some reason, there's still a willful ignorance on behalf of governments. But the good thing is you don't need the government actually to do this stuff. You can learn the permaculture principles. You can take a PDC. You can read about it. You can empower yourself. Just do this, and that's why I love permaculture as a movement, because it's about more than just feeding people. It's a creativity-based form of activism. Yeah.
Imagine that.
It's amazing. So, to summarize what you said, the difference between agriculture and permaculture, agriculture is more about producing sort of maybe like one thing, or there's an emphasis on production, whereas in permaculture the emphasis is on relationships, ecosystems, and as you said, kind of like creating systems that are interrelated between the elements. Is that
yeah,
correct?
creating healthy, balanced ecosystems, which are Camilo.
Camilo.
Camilo, get over here. Get over here. This is Camilo, everyone. He wants to be in the video. Yeah, in permaculture, we want to create healthy, diverse ecosystems that produce food and do what healthy ecosystems should do: hold water, sequester carbon. You know, mimic all these features. Whereas agriculture, like you said, it's extractive. It's extractive. The diversity, fertility, health of a landscape, typically with modern agriculture, slowly deteriorates. That's why all deserts in the world, here's a fun fact, all deserts in the world are man-made. And all deserts in the world are reversible if we go back to, you don't even really kind of like holistic land management principles. And that means using animals and grasses in a sense, and trees in a sensible way. So that's a fun thing to think of.
So agriculture is more about focusing on taking from the land, taking what can we get, how can we get the most out of the land, which requires a lot of times using the chemicals to increase the production, whereas permaculture is more like, how can we relate to the land in the way that we're receiving, but we're also giving back.
Correct. And this is what's actually meant by a mentality of abundance. So when people talk about this, it's kind of this new age hippie thing to say, and it's like, oh, we just need to start thinking with a mentality of abundance instead of scarcity. Actually, what we need to do is we need to create abundance through proper land management, because if you're extracting from dead soils and just making the areas you live in continually worse, it's only natural that you're going to have a mentality of scarcity, because that's what you're doing. That's actually literally the reality you're manifesting. Whereas if you start to do, let's call them permaculture or agroecological systems, and you start to make the base of all design that is done across anything, whether it's housing, urban planning, agriculture, reforestation, doesn't matter, take those same principles and apply them, you will actually start to create a world that's very abundant, where everyone will start to feel that abundance, and the mentality will change it. That's my fundamental belief about politics, actually, is that there's all these fights going on saying we should share things more, and there's all these people saying, no, we don't want doing this, because they're scared and they don't want. But if we can do this and actually create abundance, people start to feel it, and everyone will just actually relax. And we'll very quickly start to remember that we're on a planet that is designed to create and support human life. We don't need to actually try so hard. In a lot of this stuff, we just need to start doing less, but start thinking about what we're doing.
Wow.
So permaculture is best for the land?
I would say so.
I would agree.
Unless your intention is to eradicate humanity, in which case modern agriculture is and let me be clear about this, there's nothing is intrinsically good and bad. If your intention is to eradicate humanity, and there could be some arguments why that might seem like a good idea to you, then agriculture is better.
But okay, so if we want to save humanity, then it sounds like permaculture could be a better system for that.